Have a quick show for you guys today. Some announcements and stuff like that. And we are trying to see if we can go live more consistently. So, Simon and I decided starting next week, we will be going live Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
I think Saturday, yep.
Okay.
Saturday or Friday, Saturday.
And we're going to try to see if we can be consistent with Monday, Wednesday, Saturday at 6 our time, 7 Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do our best with that. We'll see what activity looks like, how many people are able to join. We may have to adjust, so y'all stay fluid with us while we watch the metrics on how all of that plays out. We have a few people in the room already.
Yeah, so today we wanted to, this was a show Aaron wanted to do specifically. And so, we've been having a lot going on with some guests and stuff, and now we got free time today. So we can go ahead and get this show in.
Oh, make the announcement real quick, though.
Oh yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have a special show. It's gonna be a special show. We're gonna have Bitcoin Zay, Isaiah Jackson on tomorrow. It will be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll have him on tomorrow. We'll chop up some good game. Also, it'll be my birthday, so we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a party. It's gonna be a celebration. Well, you know how it goes. It's gonna be a celebration.
Dad's gonna get some socks, a tie, and probably something Tino drew. So y'all know how that go.
And some Hornitos.
I bought him some sneakers. They're really nice.
Yeah, they are. They are. They're very nice.
Okay, last announcement, babe.
Last announcement is
Super Bowl season.
Oh yeah, stacking. So we have to be stacking our sats, right? Every day, dollar cost averaging, right? DCA, we want to do that. Also, we want to stack our ounces. Since it is football season, Super Bowl season, we have here a collectible.
Take it out, baby, and I'll hold it up for now.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's really in there.
Oh. So this is a Super Bowl coin that is made by Atmex, right? And it's the official coin that they use at the Super Bowl to, for the opening toss, right? And every Super Bowl coin that you buy, I buy one every year. And every Super Bowl coin you toss is a limited mint edition. So this one is Super Bowl
2022.
2022.
So
there's
I don't know if you can see it around the top. It has the date.
2022 were minted. So you have a low mintage coin, which also increases in value when you have low mintage coins. I'm a big fan of low mintage coins. I'm a big football fan, so I always get the Super Bowl coin. But yes, this is the official coin that they will use on, I believe, February 4th. February 4th, 2024, they will have this coin, and you'll see this, and you'll see that.
But not like that. But not like that.
My bad, y'all. All right, so let's get to it though.
BK Crypto, just so you know, I always keep your place from now on. So you always first. Don't matter if somebody's first or not. And BK Crypto said, "Black family, keep doing your thing." So we appreciate how much you appreciate us. Okay, so we got to get to the show because kids have basketball and we have workout and stuff like that. Failure to launch. So for the last maybe 2.5, 3 weeks, Simon and I have been talking about a lot of really bad narratives that we've noticed a lot of people feed into. Okay, so there's this culture, I'm gonna call it the DJ Khaled culture, where people show you all we do is win, 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 and you don't get to see people's losses. Well, one of the poor narratives around that is people don't understand that failure is integral to success. So we wanted to just kind of straighten out a few bad narratives hanging out there and talk about the reality of some of these things so that we can get a better understanding. We can shift narratives into a more reasonable, honest, accurate, realistic narrative. So Failure to Launch. Failure to Launch was a rom-com, I think, with Matthew McConaughey and I want to say Jennifer Aniston.
That's the other girl from
One of them rom-com girls.
Sex and the City girl.
Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yeah, her.
Oh, and
I don't know why I know that, y'all, but I do.
I don't think, I think I've seen it once. I don't know that I saw it in its entirety, but the plot line to Fade to Launch was he was living with his parents. He was, what, 30 or so?
Yeah, so what she's saying, the plot was he was what appeared to be an eligible bachelor, but once you started digging down,
He wasn't.
he wasn't so eligible. Or he was eligible, but he wasn't what you really wanted to build a life with, and kind of immature and things like that.
So I took that title and I want to talk about some of these narratives. So the first point that I wanted to make is failure is integral to success, right? We've been talking about the life portfolio a lot, and one of the things that social media has really, wait, baby. One of the things that social media has really been pushing is the grass is always greener on the social media side. Everybody shows you their perfect life, their perfect filtered body, their perfect filtered faces. There's a lot of, I don't want to say fairy tale, but not realistic. Like we're in the age now, we want people to keep it 100, right? And there's nothing wrong with failure. Failure allows you to analyze what it is that you're doing and to resolve, understand, tighten up. It's a great lesson for people to utilize in order to get to that next step, in order to up level. Right? You never want to see failure as a bad thing, because once your perspective is on failure as being a bad thing, it prevents you from progressing. It prevents you from attempting new things. It becomes a stumbling block for you to really diversify a life portfolio that you need to in order to get to that wealth building goal that most people have, that wealth building lifestyle that most people are looking towards. When we were in school, right, many of us took a science class. And when you took a science class, one of the very first things that they taught you in the science class was the scientific method. It has a utility that people should be using for real world application. It's not just something that you're learning in order to pass the test, and when you're done with the class, you never look at it again. You want to utilize most aspects of the scientific method to do what Simon and I we call it an RCA. It's a root cause analysis. So when you're attempting to do anything of value, a lot of times as you're going through the process, you need to examine that process and where you see maybe failure, where you see maybe weak points, where you see missteps. You want to take that and analyze it to see what is the root cause of this misstep. Where did we misstep? Is it something we can resolve? Is it something we need to tighten up? Is it something we need to eliminate altogether? Right? So you can utilize this analysis for budgeting a household, right? You want to get your 12, this is tax season. If there was any time in the year to look at what you've done all year, December and January are those months, you want to download and print out so you have a physical copy of your banking statements so that you can see accurately how you actually spend money. How, not how, but where are the areas that you can tighten up? Maybe there's an area where you can loosen up. Like, man, I did really, really well this year. So now I have the funds to go and do something that I've been needing to do or what have you, right? Or I've done really poorly this year. Looking at my banking statement, I'm seeing every single expense. Some people have something called a wrap up, and a wrap up is basically like a pie chart, and it'll tell you you spend 70% of your deposits on miscellaneous. That's a problem. You spend 30% on utilities, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think we have a wrap up with the account we have at Chase. I haven't seen one. Simon and I typically go through, we have 3 checking accounts,
Yeah.
babe. So I have to go through 36 ledgers. Yes, 36 ledgers. And Simon and I, we go through every single expense. We don't tell y'all to do nothing we don't do in our house. Right? Hey, Stream Elements. Hey, Discover Crypto. I think Stream Elements is the moderator, but so when you're doing that, you're going through, there's 6 of us in this house. We have to do that, right? Simon and I are taking care of 4 individuals. 2 of them are basically adults. I mean, he's 16, but he's an adult as far as I'm concerned, and 2 small children. So the income that we bring in has to cover 6 people, where most households are significantly smaller than that.
Yeah.
So we need to see, where is there room for us to invest more money and maybe spend less? Some years when we sit and we do it, we're like, hey, we did really well this year. Is there any large purchase that we need to do? Typically, we don't. Or is there a significant investment? He's always got the investment ideas.
Yeah.
And he'll say, you know what? I was looking at this and I want to put some money in it and da 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 da. And then we absolutely have the income in order to do that. So this is part of your root cause analysis. You want to add this into you want to implement this into your life portfolio processes, right? So I'm bringing up the failure part because typically this is where failure is found, right? In the consumption, in how you spend, in how you think about spending. I watched a guy named Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah, I know Wall Street Trapper.
And Wall Street Trapper said something very interesting. He said that most people spend the money even before they have it.
Yeah.
So he was saying he used to work a job or whatever. And when the guys used to get a lot of overtime, they'd be like, this is what I'm about to do with my overtime check. You barely worked an hour into that overtime, you've already spent all of the overtime money on clothes, shoes, just items that are desired but not necessary.
Yeah.
So there's one thing with that. The other point that I wanted to bring up, where I tell you failure is critical to success, is there is this mindset out there that if you don't have everything all figured out before you attempt it, that you're not even going to bother with it. And a lot of people do that, right? They have these big ideas, but because they don't have any idea on how to approach the thing that they want to do, they don't even bother. Simon and I, we take a very different approach. Some people think it's reckless. Reckless or not, it has gotten us some very great outcomes.
Yeah.
We will attempt it and try to figure it out as we go, and then do that, like I said, that root cause analysis when we misstep, when we stumble. And sometimes this process, depending on what it is we're working towards, we can work towards that a year and a half, is 3 years in the making. A lot of these things require you to be consistent and committed into getting it done. Right? Social media show you as soon as somebody do something, boom, it's blessed, it prospers, and there's like no effort towards it.
Yeah, and so another thing, when she's talking about having it set up perfectly, another thing people will run into is having some kind of timeline. I need to do something by a certain age, 25, 30, what have you. And these things will overall, if you look into some of the studies, will lead to depression, right? Because you feel like if you didn't make it to a certain benchmark at 30 years old, then you're not where you're supposed to be. Like she says, you're looking at social media, you see people where you think that you're supposed to be, and this stuff leads to depression. You see a lot of things, and even unfortunately leads to suicide. You see people who feel like they didn't get far enough in their life, or they didn't live up to their potential, and they commit suicide. So you want to always take, like we say, the long approach, the low time preference, because we can go over and over and over. But one of the famous people we like to say is Colonel Sanders, right? How old was he? He was
65.
He was up there, and so that's when he finally got his first business jumping off.
And then sold it 12 years later.
Yeah, he did, and rightfully so, because he wanted to reap some of the benefits of what he had What
But
do
he
you have
couldn't keep
build?
up with it because it prospered almost immediately.
Yeah, yeah, he
And
was a
he
little
couldn't
older.
keep up with that. And it was one of the first franchises he was able to sell.
Hmm.
So, great success story. You
Yeah.
guys should look into that. Now, we're talking about all the success, right? Bad narrative. So, no shade to the entrepreneurs, but the entrepreneurs push a horrible narrative, right? And this horrible narrative is if you have a job, then that's whack.
Okay.
Okay. There is nothing wrong with having a job. There is nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5.
Hmm.
And I want to dig a little deeper into that because of the narrative, people are missing crucial, critical aspects of it that aren't realistic.
Hmm.
Young people, if you are between 16 and 25 and you're watching this show, you should absolutely get a job, right? So that you can learn the foundation and the fundamentals of business skills in order to transfer and apply when you walk into entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
A long time ago, I feel like back in the days of the ancestors, and I'm being facetious because that's what my kids think. My kids think when we grew up, this was in like, they'd be like, back in the 1900s, y'all used to. So back in the day, people would work an internship. And the whole point and purpose of this internship is to learn the fundamentals and the skills of business so that it can be applied to when you start your own company. And here's the kicker: internships were free. You worked 40, 60, 80 hours a week for free.
Hmm.
And what was the payoff? The payoff was that you learned the skills, the hacks, the tricks, the flexes in order to apply to your own business,
Hmm.
right? I don't know how many of you know this, but before the sex tape, Kim Kardashian used to be she used to be an intern for famous people. That's what she used to do, right? She used to be their personal assistant, business intern, this, that, in order to, and I heard her say it one time, I never heard her say it again, but in order to learn how to be her own celebrity, right? She wanted to learn the ways they were generating money, the things they were going into, the sponsorships they got. How do you get a bag by just showing up at a party?
Yeah.
She did do an internship for several years before she became, famous with the Ray J thing. But I kind of bring that up because, and Kevin Samuels talks about this all the time. Whether y'all like Kevin Samuels or not, Kevin Samuels has his utility. And this is one of the things Simon and I want to get across to the audiences, whoever may be watching this. Everything has a utility. We can't just throw everything out because we don't like certain aspects of it.
Hmm.
We always want to look at and see, does this thing have a utility that can benefit me in some way, whether I like what it has to say, whether it's talking about me personally or not. Does it have a utility? Kevin Samuels had utility,
Hmm.
right? For all of you young entrepreneurs, you need to work a job in order to learn the fundamentals of business. One, we notice that a lot of entrepreneurs are not consistent, and they're not consistent because they don't have the discipline of having to be somewhere by a certain time and to manage their time during a set course of the day. Entrepreneurship seems to have turned into I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and hopefully make some money along the way.
Yeah.
That don't math, right? When you have a job, you have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And for people who take these things seriously, right, people who are running their own businesses, we're at work at 7:30 if we need to be there at 8.
Hmm.
You need time to plan your day. You need time to think about your day. You need time to set up, right? So that when 8 o'clock hits, you are ready to work.
Mm.
When you take those skills and apply it to your actual business, you will start to see how seamless and how much you reap the benefits of being well prepared in the business environment.
Right.
Another thing entrepreneurs do is ghosting is the thing now. I don't know what that's about. It went from the dating world to the business world, where you have an appointment with another party, you don't call and you don't show. and you learn and you start burning businesses along the way.
Yeah, you do.
Jay Fever said we've been active in 2024. Yes, Jay Fever, we've been working on our
Oh yeah.
goals, and we want to be providing a lot more content for you guys this year.
And something else she mentioned, entrepreneurs. You will see a lot of entrepreneurs are being into health and wellness, right? So maybe if you have to be at work by 8, you'll get there a couple hours early, get in a workout, helps you get your blood flowing, helps you get your
Think,
thoughts going,
yeah,
and it also shows a level of discipline, right? You see these entrepreneurs, you see that level of discipline. They're going to get their workout in. They're going to be worried about their body, their health, their wellness. And that's something that when you see an entrepreneur, it's just something like after the first, when you first see them, you can just say, oh, okay, I see a level of discipline in that regard.
absolutely, or the lack of it in that
Hmm.
regard, right?
Yeah.
So, let your yeses be yeses, let your nos be nos. That's biblical, but it should also be a business tenant.
Hmm.
So yes, I'm going to be there at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there at 4. If you're setting up collaborative efforts with other parties, respect the other party's time. If you tell them you're going to be there, be there. And if you can't be there, things come up, life happens. Make a phone call, say, hey, I know we agreed I was going to meet you or provide this service to you or bring this product to you at this day and this time. Something came up. Can we reschedule? I have these 2 available days.
Hmm.
Does that work for you?
Hmm.
Right? Communication is also something that's very lacking in the entrepreneurial world of this generation.
Yeah.
So we really want to tighten these things up. Now, here's the thing. Cryptonomics is in here, and he's saying there's no shade, but the new generation doesn't believe in preparation and work. And that's because it requires effort and work. It takes time. It
Hmm.
is an investment you are making in your business that is not monetary.
Yes.
Okay, he said everything is a scam, getting over on people with no work. And that's the problem. Everybody kind of wants everything now, but I think from a psychological aspect, they feel like they can't see the other areas that need to be involved in it. So they take the shortcut so that they can say that they're meeting the benchmarks that they are seeing on social media other people are meeting.
Yeah. And
And that's the problem.
yeah, so people talk about some of these. You need social media, right, for certain things to
Yeah,
build
yeah,
your
yeah,
business, this, that,
yeah.
and third.
Has
But
to be
sometimes
taught.
you have to take a break so that you can focus, right?
Mhm.
So that you can focus on what you're trying to do and not be influenced by outside things that may or may not be true. Another thing we would like to say is find a mentor, right?
Absolutely.
That is very key to find a mentor as you are trying to find whatever business or that you are in, right?
In that industry.
And so that is great to find a mentor. And one of the things that you will see people, popular people, maybe like Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, these people, they will say, Robert Kiyosaki as well will say, when you find a mentor, you will be willing to do whatever it is for free because everybody wants to be paid for everything,
Hmm.
correct? But we've all read Rich Dad Poor Dad. He tells you that his rich dad did not pay him. His payment was the information and the knowledge he learned from his rich dad.
Basically,
and
like an
some
internship.
and sometimes you have to do that with your mentor. They may not be willing to pay. Their Your angle has to be, what can I do for you? And then they'll teach you once they see that you're interested and you're serious about it. And so sometimes, like she said, people want to get paid immediately. They want the bag right now. Definitely got to get a mentor in the field that you are pursuing. I think that is paramount.
Hmm. And I think in 2024, that is a lot easier than it was back in the day because you do have access to social media
Hmm.
where you can get the mindset insights
Hmm.
to a, Kiyosaki, to a Lynn Alden,
Yep.
and, in these industries. What's Danielle's last name? Daniela? She got
Uh,
a long name.
oh, you're talking about Camion.
Yeah.
Daniela Cameo.
But like whatever industry you're in, if you're in tech, you got your tech people, you can tap into their insights using YouTube, whatever their platforms are, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Reading.
And it goes a long way, and it goes all the way out because I know our black family is big into entertainment and sports.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the old school cats like who would go with Jerry Rice and train with him
Yeah.
and see how he trains to get ready. You got the people who would go train with Kobe Bryant, right? The
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatums. They're gonna train with Kobe Bryant. He's not gonna pay you. He's gonna train you, and he's gonna work the hell out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that you can see his mindset, and that's
Right.
their mentor in their industry, and like she said, and so on, and whatever industry that you may be in,
Right.
right? You got people. We're in the medical field. You got people who will sit in on surgeries with surgeons
Yep.
and not be paid for the surgery, but to see the expertise of the surgeon they're trying to learn from, right?
And a lot of times the surgeon will give dictation
Yes.
because they have, like, we call it the theater.
Yeah. They got
So it's a theater where they can see the surgery happening, and the surgeon, as he's mic'd up, as he's doing the surgery, he's dictating things that they need to keep in mind, things he's observing right there on the table, um, trends to look at, missteps to watch out for, so on and so forth. So, skill, right? I said in the last show, in my mind, Aaron always sees skill as a sword. And the sword, if being used, has to be sharpened over and over and over again to maintain its efficacy. Okay? If y'all cook, you know we cook every day in this house, right? Mama Aaron, and mommying is my favorite job. If there was ever a role that I could play that is my absolute favorite, it's mommying. I love to mommy. So Mama Aaron, she cooks Thanksgiving size meals every single day with the quality of Thanksgiving size meals, right? The quality of a Thanksgiving meal. And I'm constantly sharpening my knives. We have to take that approach and utilize it in our real world application. When you start thinking about your skill set, what do my swords and my skill set, what do they look like? Which one of these swords are dull? Which one of these swords have ultimate optimal efficacy, right? And maybe for those of you who are what's the word I'm looking for? Who are a little bit more committed to trying to tighten that area up, you may want to write them down like a skill resume, right? It's not something you're turning into an employer or anything like that, but it's something that you can use and you can utilize in order to maybe find new pathways towards up leveling in your life.
Definitely. And then to my I gotta say this, I'm sorry, to my hip hop fans, to quote the RZA,
Oh boy.
sharpen your sword, kid. And you know that I might be showing my age, but sharpen your sword,
But he had
kid.
liquid swords though, remember?
That's a jizzit, but yeah,
Oh, that was a
sword,
just
right?
okay.
Yeah,
Liquid swords.
But sharpen your sword. All they saying is iron sharpens iron, right? What's a
As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another.
There you go.
And we talk about mentors in that aspect, but also understand that the people we collaborate with, whether we collaborate with them on purpose or not, right? They are there to sharpen you, right? As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And you never want to see any type of failure as a bad thing. You want to turn your mindset towards how can this failure, how can this misstep, how can this stumbling block become a utility to me? And the utility in it is to figure out ways to resolve it, solve it, eliminate it, right? Tighten it up. It just depends on what decision needs to be made with that failure, with that misstep. And it's something that nobody on social media talks about. You know, I look at my timelines and the posts, and you have traders who learned to trade yesterday. They want you to subscribe to a program they created to teach you to trade, but they haven't been trading that long. They don't have mastery in it, right? And they only post the wins. They don't show you how many times their trades go bad. They don't show you how much loss they have. They only show you the profits. And I'm just using that as an example. Okay, I noticed that in the world now, all of these young ladies they utilize these filters, and you don't know what anybody look like, right? When you come across them in real life, you're just like, I'm confused. You the girl from Facebook? Because, well, she's using a filter, so you don't know what she look like. The face is caked up in so much makeup, you don't know. And there's something about this has to be perfect. And it's like, no, life is not about perfection. Life is about progress. Why are you laughing? Inside joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
You about to get us kicked off this channel.
Remember, one of the old sayings that you will hear is life is one of the best teachers.
Absolutely.
Right? So you will learn a lot from life lessons. I often have a problem with young Black men not having a what would you call it?
Mentors, rite of passage.
Rite of passage, right? Because you start listening to people and you hear a lot of their rite of passage was prison, and they say we don't want that to be the rite of passage of our young Black men.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a rite of passage where you learn something, where you learn from a mentor. But conversely, like you always say, it's a time where they sit you down, you got some quiet, and you can focus.
And a lot of people,
But
they
it's
do
tonight.
really, really well. Was it Wallow who did all that time?
Yeah, Wallow did, I think, 20 years on if you guys are familiar with the podcast
Wallow and
with
Gilly
him,
the
Gilly.
Kid.
Yeah, he did a lot of time. He did 20 years, going from 17 to 37. And you don't want that to be a rite of passage. We were both military, so the military was like a rite of passage for us, but there's still downfalls to that because you still are going to be at war. You're going to be in theaters of war. There's danger, loss of life and stuff. So,
And here's the thing. When you guys hear rite of passage, you have to understand the history behind rite of passage.
Mhm.
Rites of passage are typically for men, and it is the ceremony, right, that takes you from the threshold of childhood to manhood.
Yeah.
That was the historical point of rite of passage. And in order to do that, the number one way that rites of passages would be carried out is through trauma. Right? You hear about the Africans, you gotta go kill your first lion. You gotta stick your hand. Was it the ants or the beehive?
Yeah, so that was an uncontact tribe in Argentina where they use banana leaves and you stick your hand inside with red ants.
With the red ants, the fire ants.
Yeah. And so, and you had to hold them for a certain amount of time. That was their trauma. We watched the video, Madagascar. Trauma was actually being circumcised at an older age.
Much older age.
Without
no anesthesia.
Mm-hmm. So that's trauma, right? You guys all familiar with the movie 300? You remember his son, his rite of passage was he had to fight the wolf in the circle. Right. So rite of passage, like she said, for men or trauma, even you remember Roots, they were going through their rite of passage when the Europeans came through and snatched them up. Do you remember that?
I mean, I know that's what happened, but I didn't know that was considered a rite of passage.
No, they had took him out into the field, Kuta Kinte, his father and all that.
Oh, they were performing their rites of passage when they were kidnapped. I got you. Yeah, I do remember that. That's how they got snatched up, because they were in the middle of a rite of passage ceremony. Unfortunately for Black men in America, that rite of passage is being indoctrinated and initiated in the penal system, and it's nuts. Right? So we're bringing all of that up because these so-called rites of passages were designed, like I said, to propel you from the threshold of childhood into manhood, into adulthood, however you want to put it. There's a lot of adulting is a skill, right? Let adulting be one of the swords in your arsenal, okay? So adulting. Punctuality, I see Bubbly Orca said you needed that realness about entrepreneurs needing to be punctual. It's necessary, right? You want to, if it's a weak, area in your portfolio, you want to tighten that up. One of the ways to tighten up punctuality is to manage your day better. A way to manage your day better is to get up earlier. Most wealthy people get up at 5 a.m. They get up before the sun comes out. They read their Bible. They read a book. They work out. they have very routine, regimented days, right? When you look at the Mark Zuckerbergs, when you look at the Gary V's, notice their outfits. They're almost like a uniform. Bill Gates, as diabolical as he is, I'm gonna bring it up. These wealthy
Yeah.
people typically have what we call uniforms.
They wear uniforms.
They don't want to put a lot of thought into what they're wearing for the day.
Yeah, they say that's one less decision they have to make for that day.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other guy from Virgin Airlines? He wears a uniform.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name though.
Richard Branson, Calvin Klein. These guys wear the same. Ralph Lauren.
Right. Kevin Samuels talked about having a uniform.
Yeah, he's watched Kevin Samuels. He wore the same black suit. Switch up a tie here or there, but that was his uniform. And for us blue collar workers, we wore uniforms.
Actual uniforms.
Military, we wear uniforms. That was
hospital scrubs.
It was just one less thing you had to think about. You just get up, you put your uniform on, and but while in your uniform, you want to look.
You want to look your best self.
Yes, you do.
I work from home, and it's nuts, right? Because like I said, I'm new to the industry. I'm new to the work from home industry. We worked in healthcare for over 15 years. And it's odd to my coworkers that I get up in the morning, I take a shower, and I get dressed as though I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Right? And I make jokes with them, but for me, it's for real, right? It's the truth. I work from home. My husband works from home. And we've been married for a long time. I think it's important that aside from my role as mommy, my role as wife is very important. And I always want to keep myself up for him, right? I always want to look my best for him.
Yeah.
We're here, we spend 24 hours out of 24 hours together.
We spend a lot of time together. Apparently, I don't know. I know it's reversed in the frame, but this is a Gucci shirt, so apparently this was $700.
Don't listen to him. That's not true.
I mean, I don't know.
It's a Gucci shirt that's written in sequins. Y'all know this isn't real Gucci because I don't give legacy family. It's our legacy money, right? It's a Gucci shirt. We're in Mexico. I think I got it for $15. I think I got it for $15 US.
I don't know.
And but I get up every day, I do my hair, I put my eyelashes on, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I dress as though I'm going to work. And then I work all day. We work out in the evening as a family. The boys go to basketball. Simon does strength training, he does cardio. I only do cardio. We'll be there in a little bit because the kids are already coming in here looking to go to basketball. Give us 10 more minutes.
Yeah, we're in the car.
And understanding that is a discipline. It's a way to be punctual. It's a way to manage your day, right? When you get up earlier, if you need a planner, purchase a planner and work out your business day. What time do I need to be here? How much time do I need to prepare for this meeting? I'm in meetings 4 to 6 hours a day out of an 8-hour day. And I can't tell you how many meetings I attend with large companies, right? Corporate companies. And they come to the meeting unprepared, right? They're looking for this, they're looking for that. I remember Discover had did something crazy with our card and it wasn't what they were supposed to do. So we ended up having to go to court to kind of fix it. And Discover's attorney was completely unprepared for it. I had all our shit together because we wasn't even about to pay no lawyer for them to fix the mistake that they made. And his lack of preparedness actually benefited us because we were already right. And then they had to turn around and kind of pay us more because he didn't have the stuff in place.
Yeah, and he was, unfortunately, he was a
corporate attorney.
No, he wasn't a corporate attorney. He was
Discover's attorney.
No, not he was a county attorney. Remember
for
that?
Discover Court?
Yeah, because they had filed it with the county.
Yeah, so they tried to file a judgment against us. I had all the receipts we paid the bills.
He was
Aaron don't play with that stuff. We had all the receipts and they tried to file a judgment like we didn't pay the card.
Yeah, he worked for Hamilton County.
So we had all of the stuff there, but they ended up paying us more than the bills that we paid off, which was amazing.
And remember, he had all those.
He was completely unprepared.
He had all those folders and he didn't know what he was looking at.
Yes, he was ill-prepared. He was ill-prepared. And being ill-prepared and not being able to manage your time during the day will cost you money.
Mhm.
You will miss out on opportunities. You will miss areas of arbitrage. I could go on, and I really wanted to do the show today. There will definitely be a part 2 on Saturday.
Yeah.
I really wanted to start this show today because I wanted to start the discussion, and I'm going to read Jake Fever's
Yeah.
comment in a minute. I wanted to spark the discussion where we really want to add realistic points of view to the narratives that are being pushed out there.
Okay.
Right? They want to push you guys out there prematurely into entrepreneurship without the skills needed to really be successful, because we know, I can't remember what the stat is,
Okay.
but the majority of businesses fail within the first 5 years. And if a business is failing within the first 5 years, that means there's a wealth transfer from the business person back to the state, the city, the federal government. Some which way, shape, or form, there's a wealth transfer from them to these entities who already have money. So the system's already designed against you.
Yeah. So go ahead, because I got it.
Yes, sweetheart.
Right. Go ahead, read these comments.
Cryptonomics. No, not Cryptonomics. I read his. Jake Fever said he disagrees with Cryptonomics. He thinks the new generation works harder. The
Okay.
ones most people talk about are more lazy, or the old generation. I don't know if I agree with that, because the old generation did do things more, I want to say, analog. But maybe there's an insight that I'm blind to. I'm thinking that this new generation has technology at their fingertips. So there's always faster, easier ways to doing things. But when there's a faster, easy way to do something and it's not smarter, sometimes it's cutting corners.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that, but I'll let you read the.
TOBM. Isn't it true that most wealthy people make most of their money passively? Yes, but they didn't start that way. And that's what we want to show y'all.
Yeah.
People think that wealthy people make their money overnight. There is no such thing as overnight wealth. There's no such thing as overnight fame. You just don't see the behind the scenes work. Lady Gaga is supposed to be one of the biggest pop stars of our generation. Y'all don't know she was on the circuit struggling for almost 12 years before she got discovered as Lady Gaga. Beyonce's been doing Beyonce since 1996. She didn't really get big till 2003.
And like they say, from a business standpoint, no matter how you feel about Warren Buffett or not, famous quote is, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
But he doesn't start that way.
But he did start
Right. Tell them the three ways to make money. It's you work for money.
Okay, you work for money.
And then your money
works for you. And then
your money,
and then other people's money works for you. And that's the level of wealth that Warren Buffett would tell you about, getting to that third level, which is the hardest level to get to, where you have other people's money working for you. If you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, he will tell you how much debt he is in. I think it's 1.2 billion.
Almost 2 billion.
But that 1.2 billion dollars that he is in debt works for him, and it makes him profit. So these are things we have to learn over the course of time. And two, one of the things I want to say was she was talking about the younger people having businesses maybe in technology and stuff, because you can have a business in what I still will say blue collar, that people look down upon. Right? If you're a mechanic, you own your own mechanic shop. Truck driver, you have your own truck company. Construction company. And these things people will look down like, well, that's a blue collar job. But no, there's still business. A barber, you got your own barbershops.
The booth rents that you collect.
A beautician.
A salonist.
Yeah, all this stuff that whatever your skill is, maximize on it, and it could be your business.
I'm glad you brought up the salon. I'm going to make this one piece of basketball, but they have a lot of stylists who are fantastic with doing hair. They don't understand the business aspect of what they do. They don't keep up their bookkeeping. They're not on top of their inventory, right? They really need a business consultant to come in and teach them how to do the business side of their art, right? Which is doing hair, nails, makeup, whatever services they provide. Barbers have the same issue. Yes, you can cut hair from now till the cows come home, but you don't understand how to run your business so that you can turn it into a revenue generating asset, right? The booth rent. But you have to stay on top of the books. You have to know what your standard deductions are for the year. You have to know if you qualify for the standard deductions of the year. You have to know if you need a business loan, how to go about doing that. Do you have a business plan set up? Do you have your 3 to 5 year financial projections? There's a lot of aspects that people don't have because the narrative is you can do whatever you want and it's easy to do. There's no risk involved. Lie, 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 lie. Wealthy people make money passively. The first step that they started on was they had to work for money. And then once they got to a certain level, they were able to utilize the arbitrages and the opportunities to get their money to work for their money and then to get for other people's money to work for their money. We've been married for 23 years. We didn't start here,
Right.
right? We had to start off as boyfriend and girlfriend. We had to learn each other and so on and so forth. Then our family was 1, 2, then 3, then 4 children. Eddie Murphy told a funny joke. It was Eddie Murphy, Robert Townsend, and a whole group of comedians went to this restaurant. And this beautiful white girl come up and she wanted to kiss Eddie Murphy. And he said, nah, baby, you can't start here. You got to start with one of them, talking about one of the lower comments.
He said Robert Townsend.
He did say Robert Townsend. But, right, shout out to Robert Townsend. I ain't trying to shade you. But just understanding everything, you have to start off elementary. You didn't come out of your mom's womb and go straight to graduate school. You had to go to pre-K, then kindergarten, and work your way up. It is that way in everything. And that's why in everything we have to maintain a low time preference. In maintaining a low time preference, discipline and commitment are the only 2 things that will get you there. There is no way around it. We're going to do part 2 of the series on Saturday. Simon and I, we just kind of want to start doing more shows. We're also looking at the metrics on what days and times seem to work better.
Yeah, definitely.
Since you guys love to come live. Cryptonomics said he cycles at home. He has a gym membership, but it's so much easier to do it at home. Simon and I, when we take the kids to the basketball gym, they have a nice track outside. Simon runs the track, I walk the track, and he does strength training stuff. But we like to be outside.
Yeah, definitely.
Let freedom ring. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate how long you've been with us.
Right.
That's commitment. Cryptonomics. I can't see the other chat. I'll start doing the overlays cryptonomic. That way everybody can see everything. It takes up so much of the screen, but I'll start doing that so that everybody can see all of the comments. There is no get rich quick scheme, yet the rug pulls persist because people think there's get rich quick schemes that are out there. They think they can get the 10 bagger, 20 bagger, 100 bagger, 1,000 bagger. And that's how rug pulls happen. Most people do not want to put in the work. We've talked about it 1,000 times. Most people don't want to put in the work because when you're doing something new, something you haven't mastered, your brain's electrical impulses are literally etching a groove inside of the tissue.
Yeah.
It feels like work, and that's why people don't want to do it.
And for the people, I guess just in this field, as far as economics, if you look at some of the people that we talk about, Max Kaiser, Raoul Powell, who else? Safety Moose, these people, you can follow back their resume and see how much work they put in, whether it's the college education they got, working on Wall Street,
right?
Being option trading, to all the way to building their own business. And no, they didn't just pop out like that and become who they are. They were, like you said, young traders on Wall Street one time, and then now they're, multimillionaires.
And young traders on Wall Street, I think they work about 80 hours per week. They work a whole pay period in 1 week.
They're getting burnt out. There's a great article out there talking about Wall Street that they won't take these 6-figure jobs because they're getting burnt out, overworked, and also being treated like
garbage.
Well, garbage, but like an errand boy or something. Go get my coffee, go get my laundry,
my dry cleaning,
and they say, well, I went to school for 5-6 years to become a trader, and now I'm just.
And then you on Robinhood pushing buttons and thinking you're gonna get the 100-bagger. So it's just a conversation we're getting started. I want y'all to kind of marinate and think about other areas where there is a false narrative about the failure to launch. And a lot of times there's going to be a lot of misfirings before the good launch, before a successful launch. And we don't want that to hinder or keep anyone from trying to up level. For those of you who just came on, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Bitcoin Zay is going to be on the show with us.
Yeah.
So try to catch that live. Many of you will catch this on the replay. Again, we're going to be live tomorrow at 1 with Bitcoin Zay. 2, we've noticed that people have been trying to donate via quick, is it called quick chat? Super chat. They've been trying to donate money via super chat. We don't get that. I want to just let y'all know so that you don't. This is the Gentleman of Crypto's channel that we're on. I've had a few emails saying that they wanted to donate in some way, so we put the Cash App there for you guys. I think I got like 4 emails. So I do want to let you know, because they're like, hey, we've been sending you super chats. We don't get those.
Yeah.
So it goes right to the Gentleman of Crypto. The last thing I want to say is thank you all for joining us. Thank you for loving the content that we give. We give you everything of us, and we never give you anything that we don't do ourselves.
So we got these two
Right.
here.
I read that, Let Freedom Ring. He was talking about the get rich quick stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. So in her case, a donation, she's gonna want Hennessy.
Don't listen to him. I don't drink Hennessy, y'all. But we do say, if you guys absolutely love our content, we're going to ask for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is in the Dropbox, and to watch content from our channel as well. We appreciate you guys. We will be live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we're going to go live again on Saturday at the same time.
Yeah,
1?
so we gotta figure out what time the football
But
games are on. But,
okay.
but once we figure that out, we'll be live.
Yeah, and we'll let y'all know tomorrow while we're talking to Zay. So I hope you guys have a great, productive afternoon, right? Start thinking about how you can manage your time better. Start thinking about how you can manage your day, how you can plan. And maybe if there's something that you've been working on that hasn't provided the outcomes that you had wished or wanted, sit down and do a root cause analysis to see what could have went wrong and where could I change this, where could I tweak this, what do I need to eliminate, what do I need to add. So that's your homework. And we love y'all, and we will see y'all tomorrow.
Mañana.
Bye.